I need to learn to stop talking while I'm like closing bags and stuff, because then it makes it hard to edit later. Hey everybody, welcome to maybe the last episode of my European wig adventure. I don't know. I am going to Amsterdam and Paris and London again next week, so I will probably make a video once I get back to New York about all of that, since I'm not back to New York until August 7th, which is a Monday. So, as you can see, my room is a mess right now. I've been packing, doing laundry, so nothing really happened this weekend, nothing to report. So I figured that this episode could be about what exactly I learned and did in my class. And everything's in this sparkly pink backpack lunchbox thing. I actually bought this for a friend of mine who loves sparkly things. On my way to class this morning, I stuffed everything that I kept from my class in here. And then I also have stuff in my man bag. So in my class, Barbie gave us like a folder for us to take notes in and everything. And she also gave us like the catalog for Banbury Pastiche. This is my ventilating tongue. It's just a piece of cardstock with that I taped over, and I obviously pinned into it a couple times to hold it in place, but it's a little too big to go in my ventilating kit, so I put it as a bookmark in my Banbury book. I also have my certificate to say that I graduated and did a 1-month course at the Wig Academy. It's just, it's so surreal that it's already over and it's been a month. And then this is just like typed up notes about everything that we covered with like diagrams and stuff. Ooh, a seltzer water, haha. Seltzer water is not easily found in the UK. You know, this is from a grocery store. The delis don't have it, the convenience shops don't have it. Ooh, it's gonna explode. Don't stop exploding. Okay, so this is just my ventilating kit. I've never shown this on film before. It's a two-sided, it's like hardcover, but it's fabric pencil case. And I got this from Dick Blick Art Supply. If I can find the exact one on the website, I'll put it down there in the info box. But it's basically, I have another tongue that I have from New York. These are little Velcro strips. There's 2 of them. They Velcro together just to hold hair out of the way. And I got these with like some cheap, really crappy ventilating needles I got on AliExpress. So this is my ventilating kit here. So I really only use 1 needle now. These are all old, and these are all my Korean needles. I don't use Korean needles anymore. I use German. The Korean needles are more of this kind of angle, and they're curved, and a German needle is almost like a straight diagonal like that. So I have my needles over here. These are all spare needles. And then Barbie gave me these 2 little black ones. They're small. I don't like the small ones. I prefer the long ones. It feels like I'm holding a pencil. And I have my comb in here, and I have some clips and some tweezers and a measuring tape. And then on this side, I have spare Korean needles, which I need to just get rid of these because I don't use them. Some thread, clear thread in here. And then I have 2 eyebrow razors for splitting weft or cutting a wig apart or whatever. And then I just have my synthetic shears. Synthetic hair does dull your scissors. So I have a couple pairs that for some reason over the years aren't that dull from all the synthetic hair, and I keep them in that kit. So that's my ventilating kit. So ta-da. This is just a bag of like scraps of lace because I'm such a Jew and I save everything. There's like a decent sized piece of front lace right here. Like this is like a decent, if I tried really hard, I could drape a little tiny little front with this. So then this is my bag of like hair and stuff. This is the first foundation that I made in class. She just handed me like a measurement chart with made up measurements of a person's head, and I had to plot them onto a wooden block and then pat it out to get it to that shape. And this is the cap that I made right here. And I'll put up a picture of it as well. This is a very small cap. This is like a 21.5, I believe. So this is the first one I made. She's a little rough. My pleats aren't very symmetrical. My seams aren't very clean. They're all different widths. Like this seems very narrow. This seems very wide. My bottom edge is fine though. The bottom edge. And then my top seam where I put the front on is pretty decent, if I say so myself. So this is the first one I made, and I don't quite remember how long these foundations actually took me to make, but I do know that I was not able to finish one at all in one day. I think I made this one in 2 days. The next cap that I made is actually the wig that I ventilated, so you guys will see that. This is the wig that I made. So I'll turn it inside out so you guys can see the cap. Oh, it actually looks good on camera. You can actually see that very well. So this is just a normal double front lace back. This is a piece, and then I have the crown as a piece, and then I built it with a center part going back a couple inches, and then this is a single front lace. The back lace and the front lace are the same. They're 40 denier. And then this is just regular, I think she just called it stiff net. So that's my wig. Someone clocked me on Instagram within an hour of the photo being up saying it needed more hair in it. It isn't the thickest wig ever, but it did take me 63 hours of tying to do it. So I ain't gonna tie any more hair in it. But for theater, we don't usually do them crazy, crazy thick unless you're doing like lacage or something, because too much hair makes it look really wiggy. So that's how much hair she has. And then I also tied some lighter hair into the front as well. The wig actually does fit my head. It doesn't fit my hairline, and you can see my entire widow's peak through the front edge of it. Yeah, so here you guys can see the front hairline and the parting on my skin. And you can see how there's a little bit of a highlight along the front edge and in the part. That just helps camouflage the edge a little better if you use some lighter hair. And also your hair is always going to be lighter in the front anyway from the sun and everything. So that's her. I guess I can throw her on so you guys can see it on a person, even though it doesn't fit my hairline and it's a little short in the back, but it goes on my head. I didn't want to cut the lace all off in case I'm able to fit this on somebody, or I could even probably just slide it back and put my hairline in it. Ooh, that's a good idea. I might do that. I might just ventilate my own hairline in right here and then collar mine. I think that's pretty straight. I don't have my glasses on. I'm blind as fuck. I can't see. So yeah, that's my hairline. It's pretty fine. I didn't want to do my normal thick like Willem hairlines that I do on everything. That's not to clock Willem. He just loves a full hairline, and that's what I give him, and they look great on him, but you know, for theater and stuff, we usually don't make our hairlines that thick. I probably will end up cutting the returns out of this just because I can already kind of feel them. They're long, and I can already kind of feel it gets tangled up a little bit. So the return is the part that you knot with the shorter piece. And I know that I need to focus on getting my returns shorter. I should probably practice more. And it's tied all the way back. It's hard to do this when it's not like attached to your head. So yeah, you can see here, I can part it. I can part it going all the way back, down along the side. Is that actually even parting at all? I can't tell. Yeah, you can part it all the way back. It's parting, the whole thing is parting area. The whole thing's lace. It's hand-tied the whole thing. You can part it anywhere. So yeah, this is it. She is rather fine. It's not very full. The hair is really coarse though. The hair that I used is thick, coarse strands. So, because it's Asian hair. So had I used like European hair or something like that, it would be a lot finer, and I would have had to have used a lot more of it. Oh, that's attractive. So attractive. Yeah, so that's my first full lace wig that I ever made, and it moves really nice. Moves like real people hair. Foundation was a lot better than my first. I did a lot of mistakes with my first one. I did it very quick and dirty. As far as like ventilating pattern goes, I ventilated it every other hole, every other row in the back, but it's all like 2 and 3 hairs all through the back. And then the front and the parting is all single hairs. The part is cross knotted, so I did an entire row every hole this way, an entire row every hole this way, down, 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 all the way back. The entire front hairline is also ventilated forward as well. But yeah, that's my first girl. This is all the hair that I have left. I got this from a friend of mine who was like cleaning house, and found ponytails from when she used to do extensions, or someone gave them to her or something, I forget. These are old. I've had these for like 5 years. This is a slightly lighter color, as you guys can see from this. This is the base color I used for my wig. And the ponytail was thicker than this to start, and this is how much I have left. And then this ponytail here I used mainly just in the front, in addition to the highlight that Barbie gave me. This hair was mine, Barbie gave me the highlight. So I believe it feels Asian. It's very coarse. It's, the cuticle is very, very tight. It actually it would squeak when I tie with it. It was so funny. This hair is kind of a bitch to knot with because it's coarse, which means it breaks, and it's coarse, which means it doesn't tie tight very well. I used a lot of water. I soaked it in the water, and that made it a little easier to tie with, but I don't recommend it after doing this wig. So that's what I have left from a friend of mine who used to do extensions. She got these gifted to her or something, and she gifted them to me. She gave me a whole bag of it. So I have a whole bunch of hair. And then this is a little piece I ventilated. I did this before I did my wig. And all this is just, I had to practice. This was on a piece of paper on the block, and it was 3 different squares. One square went diagonally this way, one square went this way, and then the center square you had to cross knot a row this way, a row this way, a row this way, a row this way, so that when you look at it, it all blends together and you don't have like any parting or anything. This is all single knots, every hole. So that is that. And I guess I can make it into like a mustache or something. I don't know. And then the third foundation I made was this one, which is also Nikki, which was my model that I used to build this one for. This is what they call a D panel. So see how the top of this one is all one piece, darts all through it? A D panel, you do it with 3 separate pieces, so you don't end up having, you can see this is the center back, so it's 3 pieces in the crown versus 1. I feel like this is faster because you don't have to dart and pleat as much, but I think it's about the same amount of whipping because you don't have to, you have to finish all the edges and everything and sew it together. And I also did the bottom of this one differently. This one is a stiff lace bottom, but I did a galloon edge on it, and galloon was not my friend. And this is like a monofilament or a polyester type galloon versus a typical fabric galloon, and this one's rough, and I do admit that this one's rough. The D panel in the front, I think, turned out really great, especially for my first time, and my galloon edge is definitely less than perfect. But it was, you know, my third foundation, my first time doing a D panel, and my first time doing a galloon. So I think for that, A for effort. Okay, and then this is the fourth and final foundation I made, which was made for me. And again, it's a 40 denier front, a double 40 back, and then a regular pleated top, except I used a side part because I have a side part. And I'll throw this on my head so you guys can see that it fits my head. Where's the hairline? I can't see it because I'm so pasty. I think I feel it. It's right here. Okay, cool. So this is mine on my head. You can see here that it fits me like a glove, and it fits the shape and size of my hairline exactly because it was made on my head. AK did my tracing and padded out my block, and then I made this. Oh, and then the thread is my hairline and the part, if you guys couldn't figure that out. That's my hairline and the parting that I'm gonna put in the wig there. So that's that. And then I finished my wig at right before lunch today. So when I got back from lunch, Barbie taught me how to hand tie weft. And I actually made a little video time lapse of me doing that, which I guess I can play right now. So this is the piece of weft that I tied, and you basically have 3 strings and you weave it in and out of in a specific pattern to lock it into place. You can tell right here I got lazy and using big chunks of hair because it's not as pretty and tight as this side. And you can even see like the density is a little different of the weft. I really wanted to learn how to make weft before I left, and it was actually really, really easy, and I got in my groove. Yeah, that's what I made in my 4 weeks here in Eastbourne at the Wig Academy. I'm sad to go. I can't believe it's already over. It went by so, so quick. But I'm really ready for the next step, and I'm ready to begin designing more theatrical stuff, and I'm ready to take that big leap into doing theater full time. I'm really ready, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what's next on the horizon for me with the whole wig thing. I can't wait. It's gonna be exciting. I leave for London tomorrow morning, and then I leave for Amsterdam Sunday afternoon, and then I'm in Amsterdam until Wednesday afternoon, take the train from Amsterdam to Paris. And then I'm in Paris for that night and all day Thursday. And then Friday afternoon, I take the train from Paris back to London. And then I'm gonna see a whole bunch of West End shows and go shopping a lot. And then I'll come back to the States on Monday the 7th. And it's back and hitting the ground running and just kind of getting back to life and getting settled back in the US and getting back to New York and the grind and how expensive it is and everything. So, yeah, I probably won't make a video next week because I'll be traveling and I'll be in Paris, and that's... Why am I gonna sit up in a hotel room making a video when I could be at the Louvre or at the Moulin Rouge? I'm going to see a show at the Moulin Rouge. I'm so excited. And why am I gonna make a video when I can be out doing stuff? You know what I mean? So I will make that video when I get back to New York sometime after the 7th of August. I'll make a video about the rest of my trip in Amsterdam and Paris. So yeah, so I guess that's it for now for my European adventure excursion wigness. I don't know what to call it still. So if you guys like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, and please visit all my fun social media links down in the box: Facebook, Instagram, email address, website, everything's down there. The website is bobbypins.com. I have a wide selection of beautiful synthetic lace front wigs, wefting, canvas blocks, rollers, combs, clips, etc. Everything you guys need to help you get your wig project done right. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys very, very soon for the conclusion of my fun European adventure. And in the meantime, remember, hashtag, it's called a wig.